it wasn't a complete write-off of the day because I did not come home with Lupron, but I did come home with the Shrek soundtrack on vinyl. So now I can listen to All Star on vinyl whenever I want. So I mean, you gotta take your victories where you can get them. Good morning, everybody. Oh my gosh, I just woke up and I have a terrible headache right now. We're about to get a storm and like my whole body hurts. I have a headache, I have a metal arm, and it's like super rickety when it's storming. So I would really like nothing better to be in bed, but I can't because today is my last Lupron shot. And this is gonna be a little bit different than my regular content, but it is gonna give a little bit of context as to where my channel name came from. I have endometriosis. I have a whole video about endometriosis and what that means and why I'm on Lupron in the first place and what Lupron means, which I will link somewhere, probably up here. I don't know, I'll try. Hey, let's just backtrack a little bit here. Let's just backtrack a little bit. Oh my God, I'm useless in the morning. There is no cure for endometriosis, and basically what it means is that I'm in a lot of abdominal pain most days, and that's because my abdomen has lesions in it that respond to hormones. So anytime my hormones fluctuate, which is most of the time, they bleed into my abdomen, and that causes a lot of pain and swelling. It makes me really nauseous. It makes me really tired. I've had surgery once to remove some of those lesions, but it was not the most effective surgery and they did come back. Now, does that sound really sketchy? Yeah, it does. So Lupron, I was very, very scared to go on, but I trusted my doctor. Lupron, it has a huge reputation both in the medical community and in the endo communities for being very aggressive and causing very serious, often long-term side effects. My worst symptom actually was short-term memory loss and like cognitive stuff. Like my brain just doesn't move as fast. I don't know how to explain it, but like I stutter a lot or I mix words up a lot. I forget what I'm talking about mid-sentence most of the time. Things that have happened like in the year, I just don't remember. Like I have a really hard time placing events for the years that I've been on Lupron. I've been told that it gets better when you come off, and I really hope it does, because out of all of the weird like body things that out of all of the weird things that Lupron has done to my body, that is the one that I'm the most self-conscious about by far. So I'll be going to the nurse to get my shot, and then I'll be requesting a meeting with my specialist, and once that gets booked in, so later in the future, I'm going to be asking for him to send me out of province for what is called excision surgery. For my surgery, they went in and they like cauterized, they burned off the endo that they found in my belly. Excision surgery is when they go in and they physically like cut it out and like take the root out and like the whole bit. Yeah, so that's pretty much the plan today, is go in, get my final shot. I cannot believe that I just did 2 years on Lupron. It's like insane to me. Lupron was my biggest fear when I got diagnosed. I was like, I will not go on Lupron. I will not ruin my body. And then I found out, you know, through trial and error that endo is kind of ruining my body anyway. And so I was like, all right, well, if you're telling me you think it'll help. And it did. It helped me so much. Might pick up like a cake because I'm done Lupron. This is my final Lupron shot. Wow. When I was wondering what it looks like, this is it. So it's like pretty gnarly. Oh no. Wow. So this is, sorry, my voice is really scratchy. It's super early, but this is it right here. So they like break this little capsule and it turns into liquid. And then they stick this huge needle in me. And it's also like a really wide gauge needle. I don't know if you can see it, but like it's huge. I don't love that part. Anyway. So they mix this liquid with this powder, stick it in this needle, and then usually they stick it in my hip, but the last 2 times I've gone, she's put it in my arm, which I really didn't like because it's really thick and it's not fun going in. I'm gonna cover my information there. It's kind of hilarious because like all it says is that it may cause dizziness, and you open it up and it's like, and all these other things, but whatever. And then this one mostly just gives me really bad morning sickness every single morning, so that's good. Update, been sitting here for an hour and haven't been checked in yet, so that sucks. They're really busy, but also, okay, it's been an hour since my appointment started. Like I was supposed to get here for 1. It is now 2, 1:59. It's the next day, and I have a story for you. The story begins with going to get my Lupron shot, and the story ends with not getting my Lupron shot. Okay, cool. They open the box with my Lupron needle in it to stick it in my butt cheek, and half of it's not there. Why isn't half of it there? I'll tell you why. Do you remember, like, I don't know, 6 minutes ago, 10 minutes ago, let's be honest, I can't edit anything down that small. 15 minutes ago, when I took apart my Lupron and I showed you what was in the box. And then do you remember right before that when I said that Lupron gives me short-term memory loss? So on my way to the doctor, like when I was getting ready to leave, I was like, make sure you check and make sure that all the parts are in your little box of Lupron so that when you get it to the clinic, they can stick you, because it's all like it's its own thing. They can't just get another part. Like I have to have this shipped in from Ontario. So they call like a whole bunch of different places. They call all of the emergency rooms, all of the pharmacies, all of the other hospitals in Nova Scotia to see if any of them had an applicator that would fit the Lupron needle. And none of them did. And I was like, okay. And I'm like beating myself up so hard because I know it was me. Like they were like, oh, maybe they just didn't send it. I was like, maybe, but I know it's at home on my floor somewhere. Anyway, so long story short, after a whole lot of kerfuffle and 4 hours of wasted time, I did not get my Lupron shot yesterday. And what did I find when I got home on my floor? So there's 2 ways that I'm taking it. One, I can be really mad myself for being an idiot, or I can take it as a sign. The sign is that I was already very apprehensive about whether or not I wanted this final shot, whether I wanted to come off of Lupron now or in January, and I chose January mostly because my insurance had already put it through. So I mean, they booked me a emergency consult with my specialist on Tuesday, which frankly for Canadian healthcare is like astounding to me. I'm so glad they're taking this seriously. My shot is now overdue. I am on day 1 of withdrawal and I'm not in like terrible pain yet, but it's definitely like I can feel it. Yeah, so I'm gonna meet with my specialist on Tuesday, and this is quickly turning into like a weekly vlog, which I really did not want to do, but I think it's important to share. So I'm meeting with my specialist on Tuesday now, and he and I are gonna come up with a game plan where I'm only 24 hours in and I'm already feeling it. Like my body is already like coming out of Lupron, like it's already in withdrawal. I think personally, I am of the opinion that I don't want to put my body through coming off Lupron for like, even if only for a few days, it's pretty rough, and then going back on it, having to like readjust to being on it, and then coming off of it again in January. Like this is too much. So I think I'm just done. My original plan was to like get really on top of like my animal care and like deep clean everything and like start going to the gym more and like start eating healthier so that when I come off of Lupron and I get sick, I don't have as much to lose. Like I don't know. I wanted to like prep. I don't know how practical that actually would be. So much as just giving me kind of a sense of control. So what I did today, and the reason I just showered is because I just spent 3 hours deep cleaning the aviary, which was like the worst of my enclosures for sure. It's so bad. Oh my God. You can get as big of an enclosure as you want with 4 birds, but it doesn't change the fact that you have 4 birds and they all poop like every 5 minutes. Anyway, so I just did a deep clean of the aviary. I'm about to go do my fish tank. I'm going to do my crested gecko and just kind of like rearrange his enclosure a little bit and like meal prep for the animals, because I know that I'm about to head into a pretty nasty flare if this is anything like what happened last time I came off Lupron. It's about an hour since I filmed last, and I'm starting to really not feel good. So right now, like I could tell earlier today, like I could tell that it was coming for sure. That's why I cleaned and did everything. So right now I'm just feeling like really, really crampy. If you have a period, like I'm basically having like really, really bad cramps. Sorry, my mom called. So pretty much I'm just having like really, really bad cramps, and like my muscles are really weak and like shaky. I don't think you can see it on camera, but whatever. Yeah. What a flattering angle. So, ugh. So still not feeling very good. So it's 7 o'clock and I am in bed on a Saturday night. We party hard over here, but I wanted to show you guys my awesome view of all my animals, because it's honestly like one of the best things about my life. No, but I purposely like arranged all of my enclosures when I was setting this room up, so on days when I do feel like this, I can still see everybody and still talk to the birds and watch my fish and like enjoy being around them, even though I'm not really like able to be up and moving around. So yeah, hold on, I'll show you. So there's the birds. Sorry the lighting is wonky. It's nighttime. But Indy is in the aviary having a little snack. Chip's in his little area having a snack. There's no toys in his cage here. He has a heated perch and then two plastic perches and a rope perch, and then his food down here, as well as his rope perch and his food up top. And that's because there's not really any toys other than the one hanging on the side of the aviary there. Just because he goes in and out of the aviary during the day if him and Kita are getting along. I'm trying to integrate them slowly. And he also likes to hang out up on top of my curtain rod. So he has my whole room during the day, and he's pretty good about it. He mostly just sits on top of the cage and talks back and forth to the other birds, or he'll sit on top of the aviary if he wants me to let him in. And then over there's my crested gecko. And then right here is my fish tank, and my lights are on a timer. They're on, like my blues are on right now, obviously. They look a lot more blue on camera than they are. Right now they're like a really light purple, but on my camera they look pretty blue. But yeah, so eventually the sun, so to speak, will set on this tank and it'll drop down to 1% of the purple light. You'll see that I have this one light up top, and it doesn't provide full coverage to the entire tank, which a lot of reefers prefer, but I honestly like it this way because it means that I have a gradient. So my corals that like lower light, I can still have like pretty prominently displayed in different parts of the rock. I don't necessarily have to put them in the sand bed. So they all get a gradient. There's lots of, hold on, I'm just gonna move closer. But yeah, there's lots of like variety of where I can place corals in here because the light isn't stretched the entire way across. So I like it, it works. That's honestly the nicest part of my room is having a fish tank like right here, because if I'm stuck in bed I can just watch them do stuff, and my fish are all super active, so there's always something going on in here, and it's really fun to just watch my corals doing their thing. During the day, this torch comes out all the way to this glass, very wide. And there's Miguel the clownfish. But yeah, this torch is huge. This GSP is also finally growing out onto my sand bed. I know GSP for a lot of people kind of takes over their tank, but for whatever reason, I have not been able to get mine to grow anywhere, but it's finally starting to move, and once I get like a big mat of it, I'm gonna cut some off and put it on this back wall here. But yeah, so that's my little view. Then on the other side I have like my bedroom window and everything, but you can't see anything out there because it's dark. But yeah, so I'm gonna go to bed. Cusco, stop. I'm gonna go to bed. Honestly, my next update probably won't be until Tuesday, just because pretty much just gonna lay around. Not gonna be a whole lot going on between now and Tuesday. Ignore this. It's a little bit of cleaner from where I had to spray the wall when Cusco flew by and pooped on it the other day. Wow. Anyway, so yeah, I just walked in the door for my appointment and I'm freaking ravenous. So I'm gonna cook my pasta. but I'm gonna fill you in at the same time because I really want to get this uploaded today. So yeah, had my appointment. I've been off, quick recap because this video is probably super all over the place. I think last time I updated was when I was in bed sick. So I have been off Lupron now for 3-4 days since Friday. So I've been off of my Lupron since Friday. And typically by now I can't open this because my arm is metal. I normally by this time in Lupron withdrawal phase, I am not nearly this functional. I'm feeling pretty good, honestly, all things considered. So yeah, I had my appointment today. I ended up deciding not to continue the Lupron. So I did not bring the stupid plunger that was missing from the first injection that I forgot here. I didn't bring it with me to my appointment today because I was like, you know what? My body needs a break. I've had 2 years on Lupron. They've been a really good 2 years. But they haven't been without their side effects. And I've talked about this a million times, especially on my Instagram. To not have had to deal with that brain fog for the last 4 days has been like mind-blowing, no pun intended. But seriously, like I feel so much more together and I remember to do stuff and I don't get lost in places that I live, which has happened. So that might sound weird, like why are you choosing to be in pain? Like isn't that just as hard on your body? Yes, but it's a different kind of struggle, I guess, if that makes sense. I feel content coming off the Lupron. I've had a couple days to think about it. And I know that it's not, today I feel excellent. Yesterday I felt really good. And I know that there are hard days ahead as far as pain goes. And by hard, I mean pretty significant, like passing out, throwing up because of pain. Like it's not pleasant, but, I think I just owe myself a break. That was a really long-winded way of saying this. What happened at my appointment? Okay, so I went in and I explained all this to my specialist and I was like, listen, Dave, you've been a really good specialist up to this point. I have never disagreed with your treatment. It's not that I don't trust you, but I want more surgery and I want it to happen. I want excision. So I actually didn't get excision. I had ablation surgery, and those are two different surgeries, which I will explain in another video because I feel like this one is already super long and because there's a lot to kind of cover and I don't want to just like have a predominantly animal channel and then like suddenly be like, bam, chronic illness. Anyway, I'll do another video. So essentially excision surgery is more effective. So I want that one. The problem is that you can only do it, there's only so many specialists who can do it and none of them are in my area. Or so I thought. His concern is like, why put you through surgery if it's just going to come back? But I was like, Lupron also has equally dangerous risks. And I had, you know, we did that and that was your suggestion. And he was like, okay, fair enough. I will refer you to my colleague who just trained with the specialist in Ottawa that I wanted a referral for. And he was like, so she can actually do the surgery. You would be one of her first patients, but she can do it. And I was like, wow, because I don't want to go out of province for treatment if I don't have to. Like that would be a huge hassle. So if she's able to do it here, that would just make everything so much easier. Plus, he and her like work together, like they share patients back and forth a lot. So he said, if she is able to do the surgery for me, he would actually be able to be there while it's done. So I was like, wow, amazing. And then I also pointed out that I am without pain management right now because of the whole political crap around narcotics. There isn't an alternative for those of us in chronic pain that doesn't exist yet. He was like, oh, I didn't realize that you've never been referred to a pain specialist. And I was like, literally never. So he also referred me to a pain clinic. So I am going to get some pain management. I don't like being on narcotics. Again, they also carry hefty side effects, but they are also one of the only things that works for me. I take the lowest possible dose and they definitely bring my worst pain days to a manageable level. And I mean, frankly, that's all I need because again, there is no cure for this. Yeah, so it was really productive. I was super nervous. I stuttered a ton. I hate self-advocating. And I'll do another video about that as well, about all of the reasons why self-advocacy is so important. But I just get really uncomfortable. I've been my doctor for a long time, and I think he definitely picked up on that, and he was like, you know, I hear you. It's okay. We're gonna figure something out. And he did even come up, we went through and like came up with a bunch of options for if they decide that surgery would not be the best choice for me, then we have options after that. So it was honestly a really, really good meeting, and it kind of feels like a blessing in disguise that my stupid Lupron plunger applicator got left here, because without that I wouldn't have had this meeting today, and I wouldn't have known that I might not necessarily have to leave my province and fly 2 hours out of my way to go get surgery. So it's pretty incredible. I feel really good. I'm gonna wrap this video up because I know it's super long and I haven't edited it yet, and I'm just like, oh god, what a nightmare. All in all, I feel a lot better about where my treatment is headed. I'm glad that I felt heard, and I'm glad that I felt taken, and glad that I was taken seriously, because there are a lot of people in my position, in fact several of my friends, who their doctors just say, no, I'm not going to refer you to a specialist, or no, I'm not going to give you this treatment, and they have no other options. They have nowhere else to go. So I feel so relieved to have the team that I have, and for as frustrating as it is to be constantly stuck in this loop of like suppressing my symptoms are back, suppress them again, and then they come back, and it's annoying, but my biggest takeaway from today is that there is always a plan B, and there is always an option, especially if you have a team who are willing to hear you and back you up. So thank you if you made it to the end of this video. My next video will be something animal related, I promise, but I do still like to share my chronic illness stuff because that's where my channel and my social media originally began, in that community. So yeah. Anyway, that's where things are now. That's where we're headed. I'm feeling a lot better today. I'm gonna go to the gym after my nap. Why are you crying? Hello. Wow. We're the neediest cat. Like, come on, lady. I don't even have a cat.